All right. Well, it's probably gonna rain, but make the most of it for now. Make the most of it for now. The most of it. Okay. And hopefully the microphone, my lav mic is going good. Hopefully. All right. So I am very happy. I finally got my 360 camera back. It feels awesome. I'm very excited. I've been waiting on this thing, and it came just in time because I have, and I guess I can announce it right here and now. I don't know why that did that, but I'm going to be having a fully decked out Batman cosplay, and it looks really good, especially the helmet. The Batman helmet's actually coming tomorrow, and oh gosh, I'm pretty sure by the time I put this video, it's gonna be after tomorrow. I'm very bad about putting videos out and whatnot, so, but yeah, I just got the mic adapter for the Insta 360 1X2, and I got the small rig, like external case for it or whatever, but it doesn't work with the external mic adapter and other accessories and whatnot. If you're just going to do it by itself and like capture footage, it's good because it keeps it protected. And the reason that I wanted that was the reason I got my camera back is because I had to send it off to be repaired. Oh, is that the rain already? Damn, not yet. Well, anyway, I was riding with it, and there was this truck who was kind of like challenging me, and like, hey, if you're gonna challenge me on my zero, you're gonna have some serious problems because I have a bunch of torque right off the line, you know what I mean? Especially if you're just kind of like a regular vehicle, if you're a motorcycle or you have a supercar, basically, you're definitely gonna get me, but any other vehicle is pretty much done for. So anyway, I was accelerating and going pretty fast, and I think I hit about 80, and I had the camera on the selfie stick, the Insta 360 selfie stick, and it blew back and hit my helmet. Now, at the time, I wasn't really concerned or anything like that, and I didn't even notice until I went to take it off, and I noticed it was kind of tough to take off, and I tried screwing it back on, and it was like really tough to put it back on, to the point where it wouldn't even screw on all the way. And I said, oh no. And I thought, well, it was padding. Like, I was wearing a helmet cover with it, my Cookie Monster one, which is, soft. It's got some soft padding, and nothing. Like, I was like, yo, that couldn't be it. And I looked back at the footage, and I said, oh yeah, that definitely was it. So that little bit of a thud basically screwed up the threaded hole that was, where the 360, where tripod mount goes. It screwed up the threads on both the selfie stick and the 360 camera. So it was basically useless for a beating. I said, oh crap. And I thought, well, the small rig that you put it in actually has like a GoPro mount as an alternative to having the tripod mount. So I thought, you know what, that's cool. Maybe I'll just order that and call it a day. But unfortunately, like, in the future, if I decide to do anything, a tripod mount would probably be the most convenient, easiest way of doing anything. So I said, you know what, I'll just see if they can replace it or fix it, and then I'm good to go. And it took, it's over, as a matter of fact, yeah, 1 full month today, actually. No, yesterday. 31 days it took for them to basically send it back. But here's the cool thing, right? Before you send it back, when you do an RMA, they say, look, don't send a memory card, don't send a battery or any accessories or nothing. Just send the actual like body, and that's it. So I went ahead and did that. But when they returned it, they actually didn't give me my old camera back. What they did is they just sent me a brand new one. It was still sealed in the box and everything. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome, because that means I got a extra battery now. So, and that's good because you cannot find batteries for the 1X2 anywhere. Nowhere. The Insta360 store literally sent me an email saying, hey, we have them in stock now, and that lasted all of 10 minutes and they were gone again. I didn't even have a chance. So this is actually really good because now I can have a backup battery, you know, in case I need to go a little bit longer or whatnot. So it's actually really, really awesome. I'm very happy about that. Now I just got to get an extra memory card and I'll be good to go. But yeah, I've been very excited. And so yeah, the cosplay, here's the thing though, it's like I got the outfit, I got the full-on Batman costume, and I was so stoked until I tried it on. Now you got to remember, this comes from China, but according to their chart, I got the one that's supposed to fit me. So I was, you know, like, damn, man. So I told him, I was like, look, it doesn't fit, you know, let me send it back, and I need something larger, you know, and I'll pay extra or whatever. And they kept insisting, like, do not send it back. And they didn't mention because of COVID or anything. They basically just, I guess they didn't just want to deal with it and feel like they'd be indebted to me, because shipping to China, you know, would be close to or more than $100. And so they just like, dude, don't. Just hold on to it, man. You're fine. And I said, okay, well, I need the new suit. And they're like, look, just tell us your measurements. You know, triple check, and if you need a little extra room, because I told him it was a little tight in the crotch and I couldn't zip up the back. You know, I'm a little wide, and you know, I've got a little extra poundage on the, you know, in the belly section, you know what I'm saying? And I told him, puppy, sorry, I do that every time I see a dog. And I said, hey, it doesn't fit. And if I were to lift my arms, it just like would pull into my crotch. It was very painful. And they said, all right, measure yourself. So I did. And I was like, look, I'll leave a little extra room just in case, because I'm going to be riding in it. That's the entire goal, is I'm going to be riding in full-on Batman cosplay, like head to toe. So I was like, all right, I'll leave some extra room. So I sent them my measurements, and oh, they're so innocent and sweet. I love them. They were like, oh, typically the belly isn't bigger than the hips. And she's like, you know, is this correct, or do you have a bit of a belly? And I almost wanted to put, like, listen, lady, I'm American, okay? I'm a bit bigger in the waist than I am in the hips, okay? You know? So yeah, I told him, I was like, look, I'm a bit soggy in the midsection, and I sent him a video of me trying to suit on and everything. And I said, look, it's just not, you know, here's the issue. And so they said they'll go ahead and do that and leave a little bit of room for me to fit in it. And I said, yeah, and I also have to be like fully tucked, you know what I mean? So I have to kind of be squatting in the suit, essentially. It's one big piece from shoulder all the way down to the ankles. And so hopefully this one fits. The gloves that they gave me, I'm not going to use, but I'm not gonna. Sorry, I got distracted. The gloves they gave me, I'm not going to use. I ordered motorcycle gloves for protection, and I got some that look kind of like, hey, Batman would wear this. And they're the Icon Timex. Basically, it was an old glove that they had that had titanium in it. Boy, oh boy. And they stopped selling it. Now, there are different reasons, one of them being that supposedly biker gangs were buying these things in mass and using them in bar fights because, you know, they're titanium lined. I mean, these things look like dragon scale armor. It's crazy. So I grabbed those, and those are going to be the hands. And I got some motorcycle boots, and that'll be the boot for the outfit. Because I didn't order boots. I didn't ask them for a cowl because I have a custom Batman helmet coming. So I'm very excited, and hopefully this suit will fit. I had to pay an extra, you know, 3 digits to get it, the refitted one, and I'm not doing any more after that. If this one somehow doesn't fit, I will sell it on Facebook or something, because I'm just not going to do it. It's just too much. Very, very expensive. So, but anyway, and my original idea was to get Iron Man a complete full-on Iron Man suit with the helmet and all that good stuff, because that's the original motorcycle helmet that I wanted, was the Iron Man one. But it just, with the suit, a decent looking suit, and the helmet, it was going to end up being close to $1,500, and I said, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need that. So that went there. But this one looks really good too, and I even got these little like things that you're supposed to put on your car door that show like a bat symbol and like an LED in the shape of a bat symbol that projects on the ground. It's supposed to be when you open your car door. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount one of them somewhere on my motorcycle to like display anytime I ride at night, and that should be pretty awesome. Hopefully that will look great in the end, and the suit looks awesome and everything. But I'm very stoked, very happy, and I'm even happier to have my 360 camera back, because this thing really is cool. And I barely, I mean, I had it, I think a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before that incident happened. And so I only had, you know, a handful of times to really use it properly. And that was that. I wasn't able to really get the most out of it, but now I get to take advantage. Right now, I'm just going to take it easy with it. I'm definitely going to be way more gentle with it than I was the past one. Not that I wasn't babying the other one, but now I'm definitely going to be more cautious. I'm not going to have it fully extended out in the selfie stick or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to have it chilling. So hopefully I get to use it. So yeah, right now I'm just having a great time. And I do want to speak on, I put out a video about my 2-year experience with my 2018 0S, you know, my electric motorcycle experience. And I've been watching other videos because I'm thinking about upgrading next year to a better electric motorcycle. And one of the things that I have been looking at is just a bunch of just random videos of random people talking about their experience with electric motorcycles. And then one of the things that just really kind of irritates me is a lot of the people who comment on every single video, they say the same exact things, the same things every single time. And it drives me up the wall. And it ends up being like, one is, oh, it only, you know, goes this far, and it takes this how long to charge, and well, I'm never gonna get one until it gets to that point. And I've literally seen people post statements like, you know, until it can charge in 3 seconds, and I can swap out the battery, and it goes, you know, 300 miles per charge, then, you know, I'm not getting one. And it's like, dude, you're not going to get one in the first place. Why are you even setting standards for yourself? You know damn well you're not getting one. Come on, bruh. So, it's just, you know, that's a stupid excuse just to say, hey, I'm not going to ride an electric motorcycle. If you don't want to ride one, just say so. You don't have to make a bunch of excuses and statements and shit, and claiming, oh, you know, it's not good enough for me and all that. I ride 1,000 miles a day. Like, good for you, buddy. That sucks, actually. I couldn't handle that, man. I could not see myself doing that. If I could do that, you know, on a single tank of gas, or even just on a charge, I don't think I could do that. That's yikes, man. That's like a third of the country, you know, worth of travel. Screw that. And then the other one I see, oof, ouch, is the sound. You know, oh, I gotta have an engine sound, man. If it don't sound like this, and I need to have my engine and all this shit. Like, dude, really? That's your hang up? Is it has to have that specific sound? Come on now. That's ridiculous. You're really going to deny yourself an experience just because, oh, it doesn't have the sound I like, man? That doesn't make any sense. I would never deny an experience just because of the sound or lack thereof. A lot of people, you know, I've had a couple people say, well, you're biased. This was your first motorcycle, you know, so you don't know the roar of an engine and how good it is. Dude, I've had a 300 and a 650R, and I have a Two Brothers exhaust on my 650R, and I've always appreciated the sound of a good motorcycle engine, always. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit there and be like, look, unless it's totally quiet and I only hear the little whir of the motor, then I don't want it. You know how ridiculous that would sound? Exactly, man. Like, hell no. I want to have the full experience of any motorcycle I can get my hands on. Period. I don't want to deal with denying myself an experience just because I'm just being stubborn, you know? And the one thing is that people don't understand is that electric motorcycles aren't supposed to replace, you know, your traditional gas-powered, you know, motorcycle. It's just not supposed to do that. That's not really an electric motorcycle's intent or function. It's meant to be a companion or just a completely different experience. If you're commuting, it's probably the better option. Honestly, the price tag's a little hefty. You know, you'll make up for it in the long run. And that was another one that somebody had said on my video, saying like, oh, you know, you're gonna have to replace the battery in 5 years, you know, every 5 years you gotta shell out $3,000. Like, clearly he did his research, because, or he just actually watched my video, which I commend him for. He said that a battery replacement is like $3 grand, which is, you know, what it actually is. But you know, you recoup that cost in the long run because there's basically no maintenance. As I said in my video, all I've ever had to do on this bike was tires and brakes. That was it. That's literally the only thing I've ever had to do.
Hello, Editing K0 here. One of the things that I forgot to mention also is that the 5-year warranty on the battery is still technically unproven in real world situations because nobody's hit that 5-year mark just yet. So you have to think that the 5-year warranty is what Zero is confident in guaranteeing. So the battery can last much, much longer than 5 years. It's still untested. Just wanted to note that.
So you think about that, and that's in 2 years. 2 tires, 1 rear brake, that's it. Now you think about in 5 years' time, the money I've spent on maintenance versus the amount you're going to spend on gas, oil changes, or, you know, oil filters and gas treatments and all that stuff on top of tires and brakes, you know, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about that. And again, I don't really have a problem with, you know, I mean, again, I have a regular motorcycle, and I'm not trying to sit here and, you know, be a cuck for like electric vehicles, but, you know, you can't write an electric vehicle off just because, you know, you just don't happen to really like it. Ah, gross. That was disgusting. So it's, either way, it's been fun. I'm happy to have my camera back and have a great time. I look forward to warmer days. It's been so warm, dude. The past, oh man, today's like the 4th day. Yeah, the past 4 days, ever since Sunday hit, has been absolutely immaculate. It's been like 75 degrees, you know, sometimes a little bit higher, and it's just been great. We had a little like mini vacation up to Charlotte, which is about an hour and 20 minutes from us. And a lot of people might be like, dude, wow, you took a vacation like an hour away. It's like, yeah, but you know, we never go to Charlotte ever. My wife and kids they get very car sick very easily. So we just never have a chance to go anywhere far. And so that was an opportunity for us to, hey, look, there's a bunch of cool stuff in Charlotte. Let's just go up there and stay a few days and have some fun. We only ended up staying 2 days because the first like actual full day that we had wiped us out. So like the last like full day we were gonna have there, you know, we decided, look, we're just gonna chill and relax and enjoy. And we started doing that, and then the kids were basically like, hey, you know, we're kind of ready to go home, you know, since we weren't doing anything else. And the wife was like, yeah, I can see that. And so you're like, you know what, we'll just go ahead and check out today. And we did, and it saved us even more money. We had a great time. We went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, which, like, a lot of people might be like, oh boy, you know, like how good is the NASCAR Hall of Fame? It's actually really good. We had a really great time. They had driving simulators and a bunch of cool cars and information that I didn't know. And they had like this gauntlet that you can do. It's like a pit crew kind of thing. And you're supposed to have multiple people, but you can do it by yourself. And I did it in, I think it was like, man, it's 26 seconds, something like that. What you got to do is you got to jack the car up. Like, it's not a full car. It's like basically just a slice of it. And you jack up the car, and then you got to take the air gun and undo the bolts. They don't come out all the way. They only go out so far. You got to pull the tire down all the way and then put it back up. And then, like, it only comes out like 3 or 4 inches. Jeez. Then you gotta redo the bolts back in, and then fill up the gas tank. And then you gotta put the car down at the end. So it was, again, I did 26 seconds. There was a crew there that did it in 10 seconds. They had the highest for the day. And then there was a kid who went right before me. He did it in 24 seconds. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell, you know, you're getting old when a young kid outdoes you, you know, and I'm crippled and shit. And I'm like, man, damn it. So it was not great, but it's fine. You know, the kid had some spirit. He had some gusto in him. And he was good to go. I was happy for him. And then we did a driving simulator. It's the iRacing. But you get in a full-size NASCAR, you know, car, but they have it kind of like you only get in half of it because there's a simulator experience on both sides. You can't see each other. There's like a panel like in the middle, but you're squeezed into an actual seat, and it's super realistic. Like, you have to qualify even before you get in the car. There's like a little station with like pedals and a steering wheel and whatnot. And once you qualify, then you go in there. Did the racing, and oh my god, like, my oldest son, he kept just spinning out and crashing. Puppy! Oh, you good boy! Oh, you good boy! He kept spinning out and crashing, and I felt bad for him, you know. But yeah, I did too. At first I spun out because, man, you put it in first gear and you barely touch the gas, and it's like, you're doing burnouts. It's like, holy crap, dude. So you really have to take it easy. They say don't go into first gear. Yeah, that's why. You have to go in second gear so you don't immediately just dump the car. So it was a lot of fun. I came in third, you know, and then it was, Lightning McQueen is in there, but it's like, it's not interactive in any way. You just get to just kind of take a picture next to the car. But something else that was cool is they had a couple interactive displays. One of them was like, they have the frame and the chassis of an actual NASCAR vehicle there with the tires, and then the next they have an actual engine like just on display, but you pick up like an iPad thing, and it has like AR, and you can see like the pistons firing and how an engine works and all that. It's really neat. And then you have this kind of like game thing where there's a throttle. I don't know, throttle map. There you go. And you get to pick a couple of parts. You get to pick, I think it's like the valve cover and then something else. And you put it on there and you're supposed to follow this throttle map. And it is so difficult because the throttle is so jumpy. It just like you barely like move it and it just like, oh, and it just goes up. And you have to be very, very soft and easy on it. Otherwise, it's just not good. Come on, we picking a lane? Come on, brother. So it was really good. I had a good time. The kids had a good time. And the wife got a good time. And one of the craziest things was you get to see the actual angle, the degree of the bank on some tracks. So like they have the cars lined up and you can see like they're flat and then it goes into a bank, and the steepest they had there is 35, but they actually let you go like up on this 33-degree embankment, and it is nuts. I did not expect for 33 degrees to be that steep. Like you basically have to hold on to the railings and climb up and down. I could not imagine walking those crazy embankments. Like how, man? That was cool. And then later that day, we went to go do this thing called the Sports Connection, where they're supposed to have go-karts and all this other stuff. And so we're like, all right, cool. We ate lunch at this awesome place, man. If you're ever in Charlotte, it's kind of off the beaten path inside a building. It's a place called Johnny Burrito. I highly recommend that place. They were so friendly and the food was so good. Like every time I go to Charlotte, I'm gonna make it a point to stop by and eat here. It is just that good. So if you ever been there, just comment below just how awesome it is, because I tell you, it is banging. It is so awesome. So after we ate there and chilled for a little bit, let our stomachs settle, we went ahead and went to the Sports Connection place. Unfortunately, when we pulled up and yanked on the door, it was locked. And we're like, wait a minute, are they closed? It says they're open. And so I peeked through the window and there was a guy walking by at the same time, and sure enough, like he comes by and he's like, oh yeah, we're closed and whatnot. Oh my god, you know, we're closed and all this. And I was like, oh man. He was like, are you looking for the arcades, like the arcades and whatnot? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, we took all that stuff out at the beginning of COVID. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. And he suggested a place nearby called Frankie's. It was literally like a mile up the road or so. And yeah, they had the same exact stuff that they were supposed to have. And we had a great time. Like you walk in and the first thing you see is like this giant arcade. And it wasn't just redemption stuff, you know, it was really good. They had Beat Saber VR there. It was awesome. I got to play it, but the one thing I didn't like about it is obviously the headset and controllers are attached, like they come down on like this tether, and that's cool, and also nobody just walks off with that. But oh my god, like you can barely move. Like there's not a ton of room to like move side to side, and I kept getting my like neck yanked, and I was like, dude, this is not good. I don't like it. And it just was not a great experience. I did a KDA song, Pop Stars. And I still had fun, but man, it kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. And they had some other really cool stuff there, and we went bowling, and we had an absolutely amazing time bowling there. They had giant screens at the end and had like music videos going and good music, and the waitress there came around and was like, oh, you guys need anything? I was like, look, water, because we weren't planning on like having soda or anything like that. We were trying to chill on that stuff. And she 4 waters and gave us a refill, and you know, she was just super nice. It was just crazy how nice everybody was. And even at the NASCAR museum, kids are supposed to get in free. So, you know, I'm there and I'm like, look, it doesn't say the kids get in free. I thought I read that somewhere. And she's like, oh, go over there to like customer service or whatever and go ahead and ask them and they'll take care of you. So I asked, and she's like, all right, you got to go on the website and you have to do it on a splash page, otherwise they won't let you. And she's like, if you've already tried to add tickets to your cart without doing a splash page, you're gonna have to like use a lanyard and cool stuff and a badge holder if you know, get a package. And you know, the package that I wanted I thought it was a regular simulator where you get in and they show like a movie and the whole thing moves up and down and side to side, like with the movie and whatnot. But that's not what it was. It was a driving sim, and I mean, I still had fun, but you know, that was in the package. Wasn't able to do that and all that. And this lady felt so bad for us, like, you know what I mean, like, because I kept going back and forth and asking questions. I was confused about stuff, so she gave us all the lanyard for free, and I was like, oh, you sweet lady, damn it. And I still have to do a review for the Hall of Fame and Johnny Burrito, and they're both getting glowing reviews because they did a fantastic job of treating us well and being so good. Like Johnny Burrito, like we walked in and he was like, hey guys, yada yada yada, and he was so happy to see the kids because they're only open Monday through Friday, so they don't usually see kids there. And so he was so excited to see the kids, and he was like, oh, you guys have been here, right? And we're like, no. And he gave us the rundown, and he's like, look, you already paid, you know, for the meals or whatever, just load them up, fill them all up, and just do what you got to do, and you know, get as much as you want. Like, it doesn't matter, we don't weigh it or anything, you just pay the money and then you can just load it all up. It was awesome. So I was very, very happy to do that, and it was great. It was fantastic. So yeah, after we did Frankie's, we were kind of just pooped out about, you know, because we did NASCAR Hall of Fame, a lot of walking and Frankie's and just all this stuff. And man, that was one downside to Frankie's. It was very expensive. Just like the go-karts and you know, golf and all, it's like $40-something for like almost everything you got to do. I was like, dude, nah, I'm good on that. So unfortunately didn't end up doing any of that stuff. And you know, maybe next time when we're in Charlotte, we decide to, you know, maybe we'll go to Frankie's or something. We'll go ahead and do it, and that'll be a lot of fun. But after that, we just relaxed the rest of the night and had a good time. And something else, oh my god, and the hotel was really good. It's Embassy Suites, and we had the King 2-room suite or something like that, and it was good. Holy cow, my guy. And we had a lot of fun. But man, I'll tell you what, the breakfast was very bare bones because their restaurant, everything's closed and all that, so they just basically had, you know, prepackaged stuff. But I tell you what, they had a cream cheese muffin streusel, and I gotta tell you, even though this thing was just a prepackaged, you know, thing that comes on a frozen truck or whatever, it's probably one of the most delicious things I've ever had in my life. Like, I am not gonna lie, that was so fucking good. I didn't know what to do with myself after that. I was like, how do I live the rest of my life, you know, without this thing? And I went and I googled it, and you can only get it through one of these like craft services. So it's, oh man, I think it's $54 a case, right? And there's like so many in a case, but you have to buy at least 15 cases. You know, there's no way to get it otherwise. And I was like, please God, no, please. Holy shit. Whew. And yeah, so, and then, but here's the thing, on the way out, on checkout, I said, listen lady, I know you're probably not supposed to do this, but is there any way I could take home some of those cream cheese streusels? And she's like, oh yeah, I can do that for you. I was like, oh, thank heavens. And she handed me a bag, and I said, thank you so much. I was so excited. I got home, and it was just cream cheese danishes. She completely misunderstood what I was talking about, and I damn near cried. I damn near cried. I was so mad. I was like, no! And I was like, fuck it, I'm going back. But here's the thing, though. I have to go to Charlotte next week because I got to take the Zero in for a service. I actually should have been servicing this thing like 4 times by now, but we're not going to talk about that. And while I'm there, I'm going to shoot on over to Embassy Suites, and I'm gonna ask for them fucking cream cheese muffin strudels. I'm gonna say muffin streusels this time. I'm gonna make sure they understand what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna check the bag. I want that so bad. It was so good, damn it. Oh man. So that was really, really, really good. We had a great time. We were happy to be home and see our girls, our two puppers, and just be in a familiar environment. The city was great, and it was awesome to see a bunch of electric scooters and businesses and people doing fun things and having a good time. That was really awesome. So it was just a good experience. And we were staying in Uptown. It was Embassy Suites in Uptown Charlotte. But yeah, if you guys are thinking about it, I highly suggest that Embassy Suites. It was really good. Got a good deal on it. The staff are super nice. They have like a Starbucks in there, and you know, the little canteen area, and it was just really good. I enjoyed it. It was very peaceful too. Another kind of weird thing about staying in that hotel though is one of our neighbors, oh my god, they were hotboxing their room and just smoking weed the entire time we were there. I smelled that shit in my room as if I was smoking it. I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I was like, oh Jesus. I was like, is this weed that good that I took a hit and didn't even know it and I forgot all about it? God dang. It was just awesome. But yeah, now I'm back home, and I'm just waiting to get my zero service next week. Yeah, so we can talk about it now, I guess. I didn't realize, since I haven't had any issues whatsoever on the Zero, and you hear about zero maintenance and all that stuff, you know, like there's no maintenance, not zero maintenance. And I never thought, like, hey, I gotta take this in and have it looked at and all that. The belt's been totally fine. Everything else is tip-top shape. There's been no mechanical issues, nothing funky at all. And so it's been awesome. So I never thought about anything, you know, servicing. But then I was watching videos on a live wire, because that's one of the bikes I'm considering on grabbing next year. And we see the 1,000 mile service, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh, that's weird. So I didn't know you had to service electric motorcycles. I'm like, oh shit, maybe my Zero needs a service. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take it in for a service, just to have it looked at, looked over and all that. So I call up, and you know, the guy, and he's like, oh, you know, model is it and all this, and he's like, what's the mileage on it? And I was like, oh, it's 21,000, close to it, 21,000. He's like, oh, have you had it serviced here before? I was like, no. He's like, oh, you know, where'd you have it serviced? I'm like, I've never had it serviced. And he, like, there was like a long awkward pause, and he was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And he was like, dude, I was like, yo, listen, we're gonna replace the belt on that thing, so call our parts department and have them order a belt. And he's like, I'm gonna take apart the motor just to make sure everything's good to go, because since you've never had a service and you're so overdue, I'm gonna have a deep look at this thing. And so I was like, oh god. So I had them order the belt, and then I'm taking it in next Thursday on the 15th, which is the day after I get my second COVID shot. So I'm very excited. Hopefully this thing, he's like, you're gonna have basically like a brand new bike. Like, it's not even gonna be the same bike anymore. It's gonna feel so different and so new. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm down for that. Not that I've had any issues. The only thing I can say about it, the whine has gotten just a little kind of loud. You know, when, like, right now, that, I don't know if you can hear that. Like, that little whine has gotten just a little loud, and that's it. Everything else has been totally fine, though. I've never had any issues whatsoever. So, who knows? Hopefully it'll be pretty good. I don't think there's been anything else going on that I can really talk about. Well, I guess I can talk about one more thing while I'm out and about. A while back, I was using my 360 camera, actually, and I was on my Zero, and I had my Cookie Monster helmet cover on, And normally if I have a helmet cover on, I'm like dancing around and jamming and having a good time, and I move my body and arms and legs, and I'm having a great time dancing on the bike, right? Well, a while back I was doing that, and this lady, like, she was in front of me and I'm jamming. I'm not pushing her, I'm not honking, I'm not riding close, I'm not doing anything. She moves over into the right lane and I'm jamming and whatnot, and as I'm passing her, she's giving me the finger. And I'm like, what what are you talking? Wait a minute, why? And I never found out why. I just did kind of like a jerk off motion to her, and I just kept riding. Well, yesterday I was doing that with my animal helmet cover here in town, and there was a guy who kind of like tried to sneak a middle finger at me. Like, he had his hand like outside the window with his elbow on the bottom of the window, and like his fingers touching the top. You know how you do that? And he kind of like moved his hand back towards me like this, and he gave me the middle finger, like kind of almost like hidden away, but I could clearly see it. And then he like waved at me to like be friendly, and I'm like, what the hell? And then later on that day, I was going by gas stations. As a matter of fact, you saw it back there when I made a right-hand turn, and there was a rider there. And so I stuck my arm out and I was like this, you know what I mean? And I could have sworn that he put his hand over his helmet like this and gave me the middle finger. And I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I didn't understand that one. I'm like, why? Why did you do that? I don't understand. So, I mean, he could have not given me the middle finger. He could have been waving to me, like, kind of awkwardly, and I just didn't see it right. But I thought that was really, really, really weird that, you know, I had like 2 middle fingers in a day just because I'm sitting here jamming on a motorcycle, you know? And I think that's one of the things that I hate about some of the people in the motorcycle community is there's just so much hate for something that's outside their pool, you know, or their like little clique or whatever. And it's especially Harley cruiser riders, you know, or just cruiser riders. You know what I mean? Those supposed to be like laid back, happy types. You know what I mean? They're definitely not happy with me, because there's been so many times that they've made fun of me, and it's just weird. And I don't know, like they constantly mock me, you know, pretending to dance all dumb, you know what I mean, like they're falling over or something, like while on their motorcycle. Or if they're standing there, they'll do it because they're all in a group somewhere eating at a restaurant or something, or like a diner type place that's up here, you know, those type of places, you know. And I've had a couple of them just like shake their head in disapproval of me, and it's like, dude, like, I really don't care, right? I don't give a shit what people have to say, you know, which is why I just do it anyway, you know what I mean? I'm dancing around on my motorcycle, having a great time. I don't give a damn. And I'm generally not the type of person to really care what somebody says. Every once in a while I do. I'm not going to pretend like shit doesn't bother me. It does sometimes. But it's just really weird that some of these people are just inclusive, and they do the same thing when I stop somewhere and, you know, talk about the motorcycles. And I'll never forget this one time I stopped and I wanted to take pictures of motorcycles, and you know, these guys that were stopped, because there was a whole group of them all in like touring kind of bikes, and you know, they're talking about my motorcycle, like, oh, this and that and the other, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you know, how far does that thing go? And I'm like, well, you know, if you treat it right, and you're taking it really easily, and you're not doing crazy stuff, you know, you can get 120, 140 miles out of this thing, you know, in eco mode with all the regen and all that crazy stuff on. You know, but if you're having a good time in sport mode, it's like 100 miles. And if you're taking the highway, you're getting like 60 miles at best. You know, and they're like, oh man, we just rode 120 miles just now. You know, we got all day to go. And I'm like, well, I mean, good for fucking you. It's not for you. What the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like if you're going to cruise around, if your whole ideal is to travel, right, on a motorcycle, like just take long, super long trips, you're not going to sit there and look at a sport bike rider and go, you You know, that shit hurts after you're riding for so long. I could ride for 6 hours and still be comfortable. You know, I still got 12 hours to go. Like, then a sport bike isn't for you. Why would you even like mention that shit? That doesn't make any sense, you know? So, I don't know what it is, man. I really don't get it. Electric motorcycles will never, it's never about replacing motorcycles in general. You know, it's an alternative. I mean, it just blows my mind. That's like sitting there and only playing one genre of video games. You know, I mean, that's fine if you do, but you're seriously missing out on other experiences. You know, if you only play fighting games, you're missing out on JRPGs and tacticals and shooters and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? You are not getting a full experience out of it. You know, it's kind of like those guys who buy like a console just for Madden or some shit. It's like, dude, I mean, I guess that's fine and all, but damn, bro, you're gonna drop $400 or $500 on a machine just to play Madden? Holy fuck. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It doesn't deter me one bit though. I'm still having an absolutely fantastic time riding. I love electric, and I think I'm actually going to upgrade to electric. The 650 I have is plenty for me. I don't need anything bigger, man, because the 650 pulls, and I'm starting to get stupid on it. I'll throw up a screenshot here of me riding my 650 lately, and you could see the mileage where it says, I think it says like 96 or 97, then it says like 97, 98, and then the top one says 100 plus. And I was like, uh-oh, yeah, I probably should chill. And that's just what Life 360 records, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's crazy. I definitely should not be pushing it like that. On electric, you don't have to worry about pushing or going insanely fast. You can get to 100 miles an hour pretty quickly, but it's not like you can just pull that constantly. So I think riding a bike like this keeps you grounded a smidge. Yeah, it was that gas station right there. Take a bit of a long way home just to have a little bit more fun. See what I mean? You can get there pretty quick, man. And it's quiet. You don't have to interrupt anybody. There's actually a neighborhood that I go down when I'm wearing, you know, my Muppet stuff on my head, the goofy stuff, where they're very, very, I mean, very sensitive to anybody who even goes through there. Especially, I remember, the reason I even know about this place is a friend of the family, her friend used to live out there, and I went out there a couple times to help her friend, like, get the cable fixed and the internet and stuff, because he was an older guy and he didn't really understand how that stuff worked, and she had no idea either. So, but she warned me, like, look, don't play loud music, don't like rev your engine, don't do any of that stuff, you know, because there's a bunch of grandkids there and grandparents and all that, and they're very, 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 you know, just kind of against that kind of stuff, you know. So you imagine riding a regular motorcycle through there, they would get insanely annoyed. And I remember just the other day, I was riding yesterday actually, I was riding through there and I had the electric bike, and I hadn't ridden through there in a while. Oh my god, no, Jesus, this road. But anyway, I was riding through there, and this older lady came out, and she looked at me, and she immediately looked pissed. You know, like, oh god, this guy's on a motorcycle. And then she like didn't hear anything, and so she stared at me, and she just, you can hear her mouth, or see her mouth the words, wow. And I was, you know, so, you know, there's benefits to it. It's fun. So I think I'm gonna stick with electric. The only thing I'm gonna upgrade probably in the future is electric, unless the 650, you know, basically craps out. or I find a really good deal on something, you know, I'm gonna hang out with that. You know, for now. So yeah, I think that's it for the video. I'm gonna be rolling up to the house soon. I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully the audio recorded correctly here. It's my first time using the mic adapter. I literally just popped it in and just took off. So hopefully everything's good to go. You can hear me clearly. There's not a ton of wind noise or anything. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.